This is the Science City. This is the Science City. This is the Science City.
All right.
This is the Science City. This is the Science City. This is the Science City. It's the Science City. This is 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 the Science City.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon to our audience here and the ones, of course, online watching us. I will start with introduction. So I will start with myself, of course. My name is Nnenna Lydia Ozioko. I am the head of training at DNALC Learning Center, Nigeria. So, let's have yours.
Okay, my name is Victor Abaa. I'm the laboratory manager for the Center for DNA Forensics and Criminal Investigation, CeDFoCI. We fully oversee the HID workflow lab at the CeDFoCI Center.
Oh, excellent. Nice to meet you, Mr. Abaa. Okay, let's have yours.
My name is Michael Okoro. I'm the Assistant Director for Research and Training, and then also Deputy Director for the DNA Learning Center Science City.
All right. So you've got to meet our audience and the people we have here present today. So first and foremost, I would want Mr. Okoro to start. Just give us why, just like explain to us why do we even need to celebrate Laboratory Day? Why is there a need for us to just have today, mark today as World Laboratory Day?
Okay, so thank you so much. The idea of celebration is to give credence or give importance to what we are celebrating. And that's because the whole world is transformed from the lab. And the laboratory does not simply mean an advanced space that most people think about. It just means a place where ideas are brought to life. The lab space is a place where theory meets with practical.
Yeah.
All right. So when you discuss and celebrate World Lab Day, simply means that you appreciate the need for laboratory science in our daily lives.
Okay, excellent. I can agree with you, Les, because of course, if we don't appreciate lab, I don't think there's going to be discovery. If we don't give credence to the works people have put in on the bench, I don't think we'll be where we are. So it's very important that we celebrate the works people have put in terms of wet lab. So, Mr. Abaa, I know you've introduced yourself and the Center for Forensics. So today I would like us to really focus on forensic science and see where we are currently in Nigeria in that space. And if you would, let's say our audience, of course, majorly most of them are young people. They want to build a career in forensic science. Where do they start from? So I would just, let me recap a little bit. I would want you to start from where we are presently in Nigeria in terms of forensic science.
Okay. Currently, it's one of the still developing fields in Nigeria. It's even across most of the countries in Africa. It's still developing, and when we say it's still developing, we understand that there's an opportunity there. Still developing doesn't just mean it's a negative outcome, it means there's an opportunity. That means there is a whole world to be tapped into because it's still developing. So this is something that has not fully established. We still have policies that are yet to be regulated in this particular field. But when we bring it home to the context of laboratories, it means there are so many things unexplored here in Nigeria with regards to forensics. So when we talk about how someone would grow or place themselves in such a field, you start talking about them growing from basic BSc courses like biochemistry, medlab sciences, biotechnology, molecular biology, and the rest. That's like the starting point.
So I hear you clearly, and you're mentioning a very broad, will I say, educational system here or circle. So you're looking at anything within the angle of biological sciences.
Yes.
All right. So
and then you also would now have to narrow it down specifically if you're furthering your MSc or BSc in order for you to now pave a way into forensic science. That's like the best pathway right now in Nigeria to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Okoro, you've mentored students, like hundreds of students. So I think you'll be in the best position to discuss how someone who currently is in biological sciences can easily transition based on, of course, on what Mr. Abaa has said, how someone who is currently in biological science or someone who is already in the career of biological science can transition, or let's say find a way to synergistically, merge the career he or she is in, and then, put in forensic science into that.
Okay, thank you. So just to continue from the thoughts Mr. Victor is sharing, forensics is a broad-based course, and forensic science thrives on an aggregate of different fields of study. So we welcome everyone from every field.
Okay.
Why? Forensic can be found in computer, can be found in medicine, can be found in environment, can be found in biology, can be found in social sciences, can be found in accounting, can be found in digital space. All right. Now, the difference is that most people just depend on the biological forensic, which is sanity testing. But then, of course, there's digital forensics, there is environmental forensics, there's medical forensics. Of course, those that look at dead bodies and, of course, figure out how they died. So the idea is that every branch of forensic is welcome, because it's like he said, is a nascent area of development. So more technologies and more techniques are being developed, because forensic simply means how do we find the truth, and how do we present a scientific evidence backing that truth. All right. So if we need an evidence on what happened on an environment, we need those who have not developed skill sets in environmental forensic science to come with their own scientific methods to help us determine what the cause of the issue or the challenge was. So basically, everyone is welcome to do and to participate in forensic. Forensic is just the field of science that aggregates all these fields to just find a scientific way to present truth to a litigation, a challenge, or of course, crime, as the case might be.
Okay, just to chip in something here. I don't know whether our audience know that we are actually speaking from Enugu State. So we're currently at Center for Forensics, and it's in Ugwomo, right here in Enugu State. So whatever we are discussing is something that can happen here, right?
It's already happening.
Okay, excellent. I think that's where I want us to speak from, because people would listen to you talk about a crime scene and getting a suspect and matching that suspect with the evidence from the crime scene, and they're thinking of what movies they have seen this play out in, but they don't see it happening. It's still looking as if it's something that is very ambiguous and very far-fetched. So I wanted to highlight that it's currently here in Enugu State. So I would want us, Mr. Abaa, to quickly give us maybe if somebody wants to actually start this training as a matter of, I want to start up now, I want to integrate myself in forensic science. How can I start right about now? I just want physical steps the person can take right about now.
Okay, so both of the steps you would need are basics that will set you up to go into the laboratory.
All right.
So you need basic steps that can set you up for that kind of experience, hands-on experience in the fields of the molecular biology specifically. You will need kind of exposure to biology, chemistry, and you will need the techniques that are basically used for step-to-step running in the lab. And just like Mr. Okoro just told us, that even though it's open to everybody, there are basic steps you must take that will put you on the scientific path.
Is that basic step. Let's say we are right now, if there's a crime scene, and we really take samples from crime scene and then match it with the suspect, and can we also have people talk about paternity fraud and then come to us and tell us, okay, I need to be certain that this child belongs to me. Can we also get it done here in this facility?
Yeah, the short answer is yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
Excellent.
Just to give an understanding, the Center for DNA Forensics and Criminal Investigation is a stakeholder-funded project and backed by the Enugu State government.
Oh, nice.
And that's because we need the government's backing to be able to run state forensic programs and, of course, criminal investigations with the supervision of the Nigerian police and, of course, partnership with other military and paramilitary agencies of the federal government. The second one is that we have the expertise, the scientific expertise, and then we are hosted by Godfrey Okoye University, who of course taking the cue from labs in Phoenix, like the FBI lab in the University of Phoenix, and of course some other universities in the world that host national science agencies and like that. All right, so the idea is that forensic needs a lot of equipment, a lot of technology, especially as we advance, and then also we need a lot of technical expertise. That we have solved, all right? So we're able to move from here, go to crime scene, collect every piece of evidence and biological data, and then come over here and then make sense of the data we've collected. The only thing that we are working towards, because it's in phases, is building a database of human beings, information from people that we can continue to use, because forensic runs majorly on being able to cross-reference data you have from the crime scene and again setting other data, either from crime suspects or from other sources, all right? Now, the second thing that this lab is also going to be doing is to identify accident victims or plane crash disaster victims, because we can now pick up bodies, unfortunate incidences, bodies, and then invite the suspected, except that we are currently now undergoing the process of registration, license, and accreditation, because that's a very serious business to go into in Nigeria. So we're going through the entire it's a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks, all right, but we are going through, I think, 7 agencies of the government in accreditation process. And that's what is keeping us from actually moving into crime scene. But we are very equipped and ready. Trainings are ongoing with the team, recruitment is ongoing, and then of course continuous improvement and of course external trainings that are ongoing.
Okay. Start that we're back here again. So I would want us to, because I know that people, our audience listening, just want to know how they can locate us or how they can reach us if they want to really start their journey, if they want to get paternity testing, all of that. How can they reach us? Is there some kind of easy access, maybe a website, phone numbers, things like that they can easily reach us?
There are multiple ways to reach us.
Okay.
You can reach us through our website. You can also reach us through most of our social media platforms. Like we said, one of the partners of this project is DNALC Nigeria, that is providing the expertise that we are seeing within the lab. So as a partner, you can always get to us through there. But then basically one of the easiest way, you can always come on site.
Okay.
Yes, and that's you can come to Godfrey Okoye University, #1 Ugwomunike. We are sited right there within the university campus with all our physical structures present there. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I am very certain that the media team will put up the website and, of course, our contact details there. But before, because it's, of course, this is a very short series, we are currently running our workshop on Genomics Gateway, and we have participants who are having their hands-on session right about now. So we don't have the luxury of time to go over and over, because this is very broad. This topic is quite broad. It's not something we can just finish the discussion in 30 minutes. But I do know, because I've worked with two of you closely, and I do know that there are stories behind your interest, story behind your drive. So I just want to get like a quick story behind your own drive. You left, I think, you've been
with the Nigerian
yes. So I think you left Abuja all the way and you came down to the east, with your family here right about now to have this going. And of course, Mr. Okoro fought tooth and nail to make sure that this whole approval and this structure comes alive. And of course, our director, Professor George Ude, who's currently at the US right now, also did a lot, put in effort as a team. So I just want a little bit of story from you. We'll start with you. What's your drive? What's your interest? What brought you to this stage right about now? Then after you, we can have Mr.
Okay. I think basically it's the opportunity, right? There is a gap. When we talk about forensic science in Nigeria, there's a huge gap. There are voids, and then to fill it, somebody has to be a part of it. Somebody has to put in the work. So a gap was identified, and thanks to the DNALC Learning Center Nigeria, I was brought into the picture. I think initially he brought me to consult on a few things.
Okay.
Yes, and I got to see the project firsthand, and it was an opportunity that was too good to turn down, because you're actually meeting the needs of Nigeria. You're meeting a very huge gap. Forensics is not something that has been in Nigeria, right? This is an opportunity for truth and justice to prevail. Every work we do in the lab tells the story. It's an untold story of someone who is a victim. It's an also story of someone who might be innocent.
Exactly.
It's an untold story of justice being miscarried. It's an untold story of fraud. So that is too much, in my view, of a big picture to not be a part of. And to bring that realizations for Nigerians to know that there is hope for truth and justice to prevail. There is hope for good to rise up. It was just too good to pass off.
Oh, it's nice. Very touching that. Yeah. So, Mr. Okoro, let's hear you.
Okay, so I think I'm blessed to have mentors around me, and one of whom was my first professor in biotechnology, Professor George Ude, who was my boss and my director. Because when the idea of this came, because at DNA Learning Center, we've been doing trainings on forensic science, right? Yeah. When the idea came and asked us, can we go commercial, right? The first intention was, no, we can't. That's not what we want to do. But when you see that you have professors, of course, the vice chancellor, who also was my lecturer in university, says, okay, what do you need to go from just training people with a mock crime scene and, of course, doing DNA fingerprinting? How do you go from here to actual, as I said, the technology is the same, the science is the same, all right? Thank God for lab. But then there are a lot of requirements, of course, for investment, funding, and of course support from the security agencies, all right? And when they promised and gave the award, we were going to get support to go all through, all right? That was when I knew it was a green light. So as much as good as that, when we visited the National Security Advisor's office, His Excellency, the governor, had to delegate the topmost secretary of the government, senior member of his administration, to go with us to visit, to tell the NSA that we're mirrors, but now plugged in with being able to track people even up to their families. So if somebody cross-reference, and then also I know that the government is already nursing this. We are building an EMR infrastructure that goes, if there's an outbreak, you pick people's data, and somehow it comes back to be able to give you some kind of monitoring abilities to know how to help your people better. Kenya, Ghana, and other African countries are already doing it. So why not Nigeria? And then, of course, Enugu state government is poised at the head. And being a party to that, you just feel to go with you on this journey. It becomes easier for you to participate in a groundbreaking project like Mr. Victor Abaa said. So it means that you are never going to fail because there are people backing you with the right resources, with the right mindset to get to the end. And that's mostly how we've come this far. And then, of course, they are still discussing with us other things to build and other things to integrate into this facility. So that's basically lab management, is the most powerful thing you can do, because laboratory science simply means that you're innovating and you're building a new ecosystem, which of course brings employment, of course, knowledge transfer.
Now, if I hear you correctly, you're just telling us that Enugu State is really trying to be Nigeria's Silicon Valley. That's what it is.
Definitely.
And I think the state government is working very hard to see that Enugu State is the Silicon Valley of Nigeria. Yeah. And it's amazing that it's happening in our time and it's happening with us at the forefront. Can be more thankful that we have this kind of support system. You know, it's one thing to have ideas, you know, and it's another thing to have support system that can push through the ideas. So if you're watching us right now, anywhere you're watching us, and of course our audience here, we want to say we have our facility here ready, and of course you've heard the deputy director, and of course the lab manager here tell you that our forensic is up and running here. And if you want to get trained, we are here for you as well. And for any training or inquiries, our site is always very open, and our contact details will be displayed on the comment section for those watching online. And for those here, I think the media team will just find a way to give you our contact details. So I think that's where we'll come off today, but we'll definitely be having this discussion quite often because the reaction we are getting is something that people just want to hear our discussion continue, but sadly we can't move past this time. The media is already giving us time. So it was an absolute pleasure having us discuss this. Of course, thank you, Mr. Okoro, because I know that the Science City was just a kind of dream. We usually talked about it, and now it's standing. And Mr. Abaa, you've worked excellently well to ensure that this place has the right protocol and whatever it takes to get to this level. So thank you. And we are shouting out to Enugu State government, of course, to our director in the US, Professor George Ude. If you're hearing us, we are saying hello from Nigeria. Thank you for your support. And we'll give our last word of thanks, of course, if there's anything you would want to add, please.
Okay, I just wanted to reiterate that the CeDFoCI project is perhaps Nigeria's and Africa's first integrated forensic science facility.
Oh,
so what
really?
Does that
That's
mean?
nice.
This is the first time we are doing all things forensics in one
building.
Right? So the idea is that we keep spreading that we don't just do forensic services, but we teach, we train, we mentor, we build, then we create, we research, and then we're creating programs, platform startups.
Oh, I think I missed that.
Yes,
so, everything is happening in one building. Science City, okay.
Integrated city for just doing science.
So forensic is happening, training is happening, research is happening.
Innovation is happening.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Ecosystem planning is happening because we're helping the government now begin to plan how do we integrate our justice system, police system, child trafficking system.
This is beautiful.
Using the same data for forensics.
Oh, this is beautiful. I really think that we will have an official tour. I think the media should plan towards having, because this is beautiful. I think people would want to see us, show them this. So we will plan to have that some other time. Please, Mr. Abaa, work towards that. All right. So, till next time, I remain Nnenna Lydia. Thank you so much for joining us online. Thank you for being part of this webinar.